stuff was if it feels inevitable that you're going to make the play-in tournament, or it feels inevitable that you're going to be in the mix with, a week left, a couple games left, and he's healthy, then fuck it, right? Just do it. Just do it. We can jump Portland, San Antonio, Chicago, and Miami. I think also part of it is with PJ back and some of these other guys back, you're going to win games. Your schedule's not hard. The Mavs schedule between here and the end of the season is not hard at all. They got a couple of tough games, obviously, but you've got the Brooklyn Nets tonight, that's a winnable game, right? You've got the Knicks tomorrow night, second night of a back-to-back in New York. You'll definitely be underdogs in that game. But, Brunson's not back yet. The Knicks haven't looked tremendous in his absence. You got the Magic on Thursday. It's a winnable game. They haven't been great for months now. Chicago, they've been playing well. Brooklyn, Atlanta, those are your next games. That's a pretty easy schedule. Then you got 2 games against the Clippers. You got that home game against the Lakers. Toronto and Memphis to close out the season. Toronto is tanking very hard now. Memphis, the last game of the season, who knows, right? It's very possible the Grizzlies have whatever seed they want locked up. I don't know. Looking at that, bro, I'm going to say at least 10 wins. And you're in the play-in tournament. That's kind of where we're at. I'm just kidding. I don't know about 10 wins. But I can't. If you're listening to this on Spotify and you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, I can't get the fitness influencer out of my head. I just can't. I can't get this. I can't escape this guy. He's incredible to me. He's my favorite person.
So looking at it, bro, we got to go ahead and get in at least 10,000.
All right, no, for real. Anthony Davis could potentially make his return. It sounds like within the next couple of days, AD's going to make his return. And if you know what, he's been updated to questionable tonight, which is a new development, then I'd have to imagine he either plays tonight or tomorrow night against the New York Knicks. So Anthony Davis is back. Anthony Davis has missed the pass. This is from Mark Stein. Anthony Davis has missed the past 18 games with a left adductor strain and was initially targeting a Tuesday at Madison Square Garden for his return, but the comeback game could be moved up to tonight at Brooklyn, with Dallas now moving Davis' status from doubtful to questionable. If I had to guess, I'd guess he doesn't play tonight. That'd just be my guess. He doesn't play tonight, and then tomorrow they bring him back. And him being listed as questionable or whatever is just a step. We've seen the Mavs do this. A step in ramping up that process, going through the pregame shoot around, doing all of that shit, and then playing tomorrow night, right? That just sort of feels, because I also kind of feel like, he's going to play tonight and tomorrow, like he's immediately coming back and playing back-to-backs. Like, I just see no chance that happens. And Chaos makes a good point. Maybe they look at it realistically and they're like, look, if AD plays against the Nets, we feel like we'll almost certainly win that game, versus Knicks, we might not win anyways. So let's just kind of punt the Knicks game and win this Nets game. Could be an option. Paul with the $5. If AD comes back, he has to get to at least 10,000. Talk us through the shirt. The shirt that I have on right now. Oh, it's just a denim shirt. Bought it in London. Which, by the way, this actually reminds me. I mentioned to say this at the top. I meant to say this at the top. Little housekeeping. Slightly Unplugged, just based off of what we know so far. Slightly Unplugged, I think, will be making a return. So, Slightly Unplugged will happen again. It seems like I've got flights. I'm going to Europe. It'll be a little bit different this time because I'm coming home like the 3rd or the 4th. Where last year I came home July 12th. So the free agency shit is stewed. So I'll be gone. I'll be coming back like sort of right after it happens, which I think will be better because it's more fresh, one. And two, I won't have heard a lot of the chatter. Like the thing that I thought Slightly Unplugged was fantastic last year, right? I thought Slightly Unplugged was fantastic last year. The problem is I left right before it started. Like I think I left the day before free agency started. So I had already heard a lot of the chatter, and I already had, ideas of where guys were going. Like, I thought Clay was going to end up on the Mavs, so I wasn't that surprised by that. Whereas if it was a week earlier, I'd be like, whoa, right? So I'm excited about that. So anyways, that's an announcement there. I can't wait for that. I love that. I loved it a lot. Slightly uncircumcised. We were never at any point talking about that, and I don't know how you came to that conclusion, but I feel a little objectified, if I have to be honest. Imagine if you had done Slightly Unplugged during Luka's trade. I wouldn't have believed it. So anyways, AD returns. How do we feel about this? If he's healthy, I get it. And I alluded to this, that I felt there was going to be a weird situation the Mavericks found themselves in, and it appears as though it played out exactly the way that I told you guys. You guys need to listen to me, man. I swear. I'm kind of done with the disrespect in a lot of ways, right? Sometimes you guys just need to listen to me. I've mapped out exactly how this was going to play out. Exactly how this was going to play out. Where AD is going to feel as though he can play. He's going to put some pressure on the organization to play. The organization's going to be like, we don't know about that. And then it's going to reach this sort of awkward standoff. And I think we had a tiny awkward standoff going on. 163rd, by the way. Fuck you. The chatter is referencing where I rank in my own March Madness pool. So, anyways. You take this sort of awkward little standoff. We sort of saw it play out in the media, I think, with the reports that AD wants to play, the Mavs don't want him to play. I think that was probably leaked by AD's people, and I think it was like, it was. I get where AD's coming from. I think it's him sort of showing the fans, hey, guys, I'm ready to play and I'm ready to go. Like, I know this has been a shitty situation for you all. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to show you guys what I'm all about. And I respect that. I really do. I really do. So, it's interesting to say the least. I'm personally, I was in Team Tank. I think we're sort of reaching this point where we've got a couple weeks left. How many games total do we have left on the schedule? Around 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 games left on the schedule. You're tied for a play-in spot right now. The Suns, who did beat, to the pathetic Suns, credit, they're on a 3-game winning streak. They did just beat the Cavaliers. That was game 1 of their ridiculous 10-game stretch. So it's definitely possible, man. The Kings are free falling. Like, you making the play-in tournament is possible. And for the Mavs, that's the route that they're looking to take. We'll see. Tank team is the best bet still. So I agree with people who say that, realistically speaking, moving up super high on the lottery doesn't really seem all that plausible, because we're in the last 10 games, you're going to see some disgusting tanking take place. Like, you just are. You've already kind of seen it, right? Is there a chance, let's just say you lose, I don't know, let's just say you go 3-7 over your last 11 games, right? Is there a chance that Portland, who's 2.5 games, better than you in terms of tanking odds, is there a chance that they outperform you there? Yeah, maybe. Maybe you pass them. Same thing with the Spurs. You're 2.5 games better than they are. Is there a chance you surpass them? Maybe. But then you get to the dregs of the Eastern Conference, and Chicago, who's been fantastic lately, honestly, they have 3 games. Miami, they're fucking pathetic. They finally won a game at least. The miserable Heat, they're 4 games worse than you are. Like, you start to look at those teams, and it feels almost insurmountable. Is D-Live coming back soon? So I'm assuming Derek Lively then will probably make his return somewhat soonish, maybe in the next week or so. The baffling Kings, the sad Kings. We have the tiebreaker versus the Spurs and Blazers, so they have to be a game better. So the Mavs have to lose a game less, right, is what you're saying? So essentially, you're 3.5 up. Yeah, I mean, you start to look at it that way, and it's not to the tanking Mavs credit. You know, they're 2-8 in their last 10. Like they're still losing a lot of games, but the tanking teams are really losing. This is how we always get in March, and people are always surprised by this. The losing teams, like these teams, kind of linger around and are competitive for a while, and then it gets to March, and that's when they start to lose fucking every single game that they play. So my stance on tanking evolved into not even necessarily tanking, just shut down the season, right? Let's not risk a dumbass AD injury. The vibes are so bad. Let's just move on. Let's just move on, right? You don't need a high pick to find a good player, and that's true as well. Right? From what I understand from this draft, is outside of the top 5, it's just kind of not a lot of guys differentiate themselves, if that makes sense. If Luka trade got vetoed, does that save the season? I mean, I'd be pretty happy if that happened. Yeah. Like, I'm looking at this mock draft right now, and if the Mavs were 12, they have Jace Richardson going 12th. So there you go. Where do they have JT Toppin getting drafted? I don't see him in the first round. Is JT Toppin really not a first-round prospect? JT Toppin's a draft prospect, right? They have him 32nd overall. Okay. He's gonna be an NBA player. I'll tell you that right now. He's gonna be an NBA player for sure. I'm thinking about doing this when it comes to the draft. In the lead up to the draft, I'm just gonna tweet out every single draft prospect's name and just be like, I like Carter Bryant a lot. He's a hooper. Tweet it. I like Ryan Kalkbrenner a lot. He's a hooper. I like Miles Bird. He's gonna be a good NBA player. Tweet all of them, because no one's going to remember if you're wrong, right? But then if I'm right, I can quote tweet it years later and just be like, told you guys. So that's my plan this draft season. What about Cooper Flagg? I already did that by saying, watch out for this Cooper Flagg guy. I've accepted the season will continue. I just hope we see a glimpse of something for next season. That's where I'm at now, too. If AD is going to play, I will root for them to win, and I'll be excited watching their games. Show me something, you know, as a fan, and I will continue to be a fan. That's just the way that I am. I'm sorry, right? I know there's people that are upset and disappointed by that. Whatever. That's just the way that I am. I apologize. Actually, no, I don't. Fuck you. But that's just how I am. Give me something, right? Just give me something. Let me see something from AD, or I'm like, all right, cool. I'm ready to go for next year. Like, I'll watch the games and be excited. Should the Wings take Paige or Juju? Juju's not in the draft, is she? Definitely Paige. Slightly disrespectful. Well, I just get annoyed when people are like, dude, you're still rooting for the team? Yeah, man. Who gives a fuck? Yes, I am. Why wasn't the debut enough of something? It was enough of something for sure, but I'm saying it didn't help that immediately was followed by weeks of not playing. Does Paige want to stay in Dallas? Just draft her and tell her, so what? You're coming here. Go Red Raiders. Yes, sir, baby. Mavs still need a new ball handler to start next season. Oh, for sure. I don't think the Mavs are doing anything in the postseason at all. But just give me something fun. That's it. What's any of this going to mean if you don't get to see him next to Lively or Gaff? I think just if AD finishes these last, let's just say AD plays 7 games, right? If they're kind of cautious with him. 7 games between now and the end of the season. If he averages 25 and 13, people will be excited. I'm just telling you right now how the fans' brain works, right? What were you saying about Pat Dumont being the reason for the trade, and you're spilling more on that later? Oh, no, I said Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Lieutenant Governor of Texas, Dan Patrick. No, I think that's a video I'm going to do this week, actually. And it's not, there's no, it was kind of a troll tweet. There's no, big secret, but I've been thinking lately, what would the alternate reality be if Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick wasn't so anti-gambling? Because he is. He's the reason why gambling hasn't been legalized in Texas. It has very, very strong public approval. And we're talking 70%. Casino resorts have 70% approval rating by constituents. So, voters want it. The Texan people want it, right? What would happen if in 2021, when the Allisons, who have been pouring money into this for 5+ years now at this point, before they bought the Dallas Mavericks, if it passed in 2021, do they feel the need to buy the team? Then we go down that sort of rabbit hole where gambling's legalized in 2021 and they get a license for a resort in Dallas. Do they feel like they have to buy the Dallas Mavericks? It is interesting. Have we looked at potential drafts? Not necessarily top picks, but likely picks? No, still not yet. Still not yet. I can't lie to you. I feel a little something in my stomach when I think about Anthony Davis taking the court again. And I'm not talking about an abductor injury. I'm talking about excitement. That's where I'm at. I don't know. I'm a sucker. I am. And I want to make things really clear here because there's been some stuff recently, and I want to make it very, very fucking clear right now. I am not a Dallas media member. I don't have credentials. I don't get paid by a team. I just want to make that very clear. I am purely a fan. And just by the nature of my type of fandom, I'm a fan from my local teams. I've been my whole life. It's hard for me to waver on that. Honestly, that's just the truth, right? I've got to get exactly, and that's where I'm at. If you want me to shill for your team, bro, we got to get to at least 10K. We got to get to at least 10K. Mind you, with PJ and Gaff last year, I thought Nico was a genius. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Bringing AD back while the basketball gods punish the front office is a choice. I know. That's so how can you convince? Who was it that reported on it? Was it Stein who said something about there's people within the organizations who feel the vibes are so fucked they don't want to bring AD back? How do you convince a player, a competitive player who wants to play, who sees all the outside noise for sure, knows how the fans feel about this trade? He wants to get back out onto the court and show the fans, hey, man, I'm still really fucking good. You guys should be excited about me. How do you convince him? No. AD, the vibes are fucked. Yeah, good luck telling that to a player. Paul, at the $5, hey, Slightly Biased, I got your media credentials shipped to me by mistake. How can I get them back to you? Okay, Paul, DM me. Keep secrets like that off of the public screen. All right? But thank you, though. It was McMahon? All right, McMahon. Dude in the comments talking about AD and Kai Jones sounds nice. It's fucking over. Oh, it's over for sure. But show me something. Without Kyrie, I think it's pointless. I mean, for this season, yeah. They're not doing anything. Now, if Kyrie never got hurt, and let's say with the Kings free falling, that they'd work their way up to the 8 seed in the play-in tournament or something, and there was an outside chance they could get to 6. That's a different conversation, right? That's a different conversation. We're having a different conversation. The only positive is seeing AD and Lively together and what you have there. I do agree. If Lively can come back, I think it's worth, even if it's for only 5 games, letting those two play. And, Well, it kind of sucks, this injury and Lively being hurt, because this is a perfect time for you to throw Lively out there and be like, dude, we need 1 3 a game. I want an elbow jumper a game. That's it. I need 1 3 a game from you. Just shoot them. 1 3-point shot a game. I don't think you have to apologize or make considerations for how you feel about supporting your team. Fans will have different approaches. Some may be delusion after the trade, but that's not all. No, I do agree with you, but, you know. I had just seen things recently, tweets that people have sent me. It's funny because I have friends now who fully aware, slightly biased, follow me on Twitter, and have even gotten deep into the lore. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I have had friends who send me Slow Hoops tweets. And we just kind of laugh about it. Like when he's shitting on me. But I was sent one recently where it's like, Dallas media and content creators haven't said enough about the trade. I'm like, man, really? People think that? I don't know what else there is to say. You know? When is your first Charlotte game after the trade? They did my physicals and I failed them. So the trade got rescinded. Tig with the $5. I want to get severed and have my Indy watch Mavs basketball for the rest of the season. Did you like the finale? Should we talk a little bit about it? So that's where I'm at with the AD stuff. I'm excited if he plays. If he's healthy and they think that he's healthy and ready to go. Not yet. I didn't watch the finale. Okay, I'll give it some time. I won't do spoilers. I won't do spoilers because it has only been a couple of days. No spoilers yet.